Hello, everyone, and welcome to Filterless, a podcast show by Catalyst Crew, where we strip away the noise and get real. The guest we have today is a human representation of sunshine for so many people. My friend, philosopher, guide, and my soul sister. Let's get real with Neha Sanghvi on Filterless. Hi, Neha.
Hi.
So, how's everything going? How's life?
Super awesome.
And how was your day?
My day was great. Just lot of traffic to be here. Rest all is good.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand the traffic. So, Neha, what is it like a day in your life where you are a fashion entrepreneur and influencer at the same time? You do so many things, you guide people out there. So, what is a day in your life?
So it starts with fun. Getting up with absolute sunshine. Praying God, taking care of home chores and whatever is required to be done. Starting my day with manifestation, looking forward for what I really want to cause today. And one of the things that I really get up every day is thanking God for giving me life again, giving me this beautiful day, giving me energy to be here, um, and it's beautiful.
Oh,
That's
nice.
that's the first thought of the day.
Okay. So you mentioned about manifestations. How much is it that you believe in all these manifestations and to what extent have they become true?
I absolutely believe, Ria, that we live a created life.
Okay.
Everything that what's happening and what is going to happen is all our creation. And I think there is this supreme energy, and I'm not talking about just God or anything like that. I'm just talking about there's a supreme power universe where each one of us are wired and tuned to reach there.
Okay.
So I think, and we are connected to the universe, like all of us.
Okay.
It's not just me, it's you and me with you,
Yeah.
everyone. So I think the minute you start your day in creating, and what we say is manifesting,
Yeah.
the minute we start our day in creating, that's what it starts coming up on the course. So many times we feel that it's not happening, but consider that maybe that's what we created.
Absolutely.
Created कि ये होगा कि नहीं, हो जाए तो अच्छा. But we don't live like, we don't visualize this is happening, this is it, and this is what is going to happen.
Okay, I feel that with this coming out, I feel that do you really think that this entire power is within us rather than finding it outside somewhere?
Absolutely, absolutely. There is no circumstances. We keep saying in Hindi, it's not about paristhiti, it is manasthiti. And that is what I think it shows up. Like the minute your mind, the way you think, your each cell of your body listens to it, and then it creates what is to be created.
Absolutely.
And whatever I'm with you, or probably I'm creating that I can have, suppose, extraordinary business with you, or beautiful connection with you, or maybe my love reaches you. We talk about mirror neurons,
Okay.
and that's what it helps. Like my mirror neuron and your
Reaches.
mirror neuron, they mirror each other.
And they connect. At
They
a
connect
whole-
even before we speak. And I think it's very interesting. I'd like to say a little more about it.
Definitely.
So what happens is the minute you're mirroring something, whenever you're talking, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है रिया, that when somebody comes in front of you in the room, even if that person has not done any harm to you, but you just feel uncomfortable. ऐसा हुआ है कभी?
Yeah. बहुत बार. I mean that vibes just you don't fit in that vibe.
Yeah, and that vibe is connected through your mirror neuron. And बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि somebody who has not done anything for you, but उसके presence से you just feel that, oh my god, you feel good about that person. It's all about your mirror neurons. There is a research and the scientific studies which says that the minute I think something, अगर मैं mind में बोलती हूँ Ria is not right, she's not okay,
Yeah.
she's not fine, वो अच्छी नहीं है, I wish you know uska ye na ho, or I'm talking on your face, Riya, you're so good, you know, Riya, yeah, you're looking so beautiful. Your mirror neurons, even before whatever I say, but those mirror neurons catches those, and when they catches it, they just reproduce it,
Absolutely.
and that's why you don't get that vibe right.
So I think you very well defined. Like these days, everybody Gen Z say that इससे vibe आ रही है, इससे वो vibe आ रही है.
Yeah.
You just defined it in a
Yeah.
very scientific way, or I think very spiritually.
Yeah.
And I feel that you are very correct when it comes to this entire concept of vibes. But do you think this is because of deeds as well, apart from you thinking positively or keeping that negativity with somebody? Is it that somebody's deeds are also like that? Like you see somebody without knowing, we see their face and we get to know that this person would be doing this thing in the back.
Yeah.
So do you think that also
So that's
karma
also
is a
the-
part of it?
Yeah, that's karma is also science, but when we say karma, it's action.
Okay.
So karma comes later, even before that person has done anything good or not good to you, but you get that.
Yeah, like sometimes even for children.
Yeah.
I don't think we are too much connected or they've done any karma by that
Yeah,
birth time.
exactly.
And some kids you just find very irritating. At the same time, some kids are like very precious to you, like looking at them only.
Yeah.
I think diving deep into this, I want to know that you are a life coach for all these years. How did you start it and how did you go into this field, explored it, and why
Yeah.
did you start it?
So by I have a deep inquisitiveness to learn human beings,
Okay.
or rather than learning to be with people, I love to be with people, and that's how I studied my further course. I did my post graduation into guidance and counseling, dealing with people, looking into what they want, what is that possible. And at my very very raw stage, when I was an intern, when I was doing my studies, I saw there was miraculous result what people can produce only by thinking what they really want in their life. And I felt like this is treasure. Each one of us are so beautiful. Everyone has something awesome about themselves. It's just that we are not knowing that. You know, we always listen to people, we always listen to surroundings, and then we judge, and then we make opinion about ourselves for others, like everything. But I think being in this part of coaching and being with people, I realized that I get an opportunity to let them know how beautiful they are, how awesome they are, and what they can really do in their life.
When you say that the people know that how beautiful they are, the part of self love comes into the picture. But these days, don't you think that self love is another excuse for being selfish? What is your take on that whole thing?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you're not going to love yourself, how are you going to love others? You know, these days, Ria, I feel, and I come across so many people, they keep finding love in others. They keep looking out for what is there out there, what is there in me. If that guy looks at me in certain way, okay, maybe I'm beautiful. If that girl responds in certain way, maybe I'm smart enough. If my boss tells me, you're good, then I am good. But you are who you are, and unless you know your own self, how is anybody else going to know you?
Yeah, I think people look for too much validation out there.
Yeah.
And especially, I feel I've seen that too much, not in men, but in women.
Yeah.
So if you see, every woman needs a validation and they seek that validation from their partners, their parents. If they've not got that validation from their parents, they look out for a partner who's giving them that constant validation. So why do you think that it is more in women than in men?
Again, coming up with the society that we are brought up with, it's still a male dominant society.
Always.
So we women are always waited for an approval from a father, from a grandfather, from a mother, from an outside source to let them know that who they are. And there are so many times their voices are been suppressed.
Yeah.
You can't say this is not how you say, sit like this, be like that, quite do like this. There is.
Exactly.
And if you see, I'm not saying it's not for the boys, but you will see we still have, because of lot of protectiveness also towards the girl, lot of people feel that they're still a weaker sex, and that also makes a difference. So I think that's one thing. And another thing is, maybe even if you look at it scientifically, um, we say no, men are this and women are this.
Yeah.
So there is a basic difference in the way they are as well.
Yeah,
They're
like
wired.
no matter how much we say that equality exists or equality needs to be exist, but I think women needs to be treated in the way woman needs to be treated.
Yeah.
Like when these people say that ghar ki Lakshmi, then treat them with the respect that you would give to a goddess.
Yeah.
And the moment you do that, she'll already feel the validation and she'll not find the need of validating.
Absolutely. And you know what, Ria, that it's such a hypocritic world sometimes, that men looks at ghar ki Lakshmi, and then there is some other way of looking at it when they are outside their house.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of hypocrisy there. I definitely look at that.
Do you also feel that partners play a lot of role in this whole situation? Like I have seen a lot of women out there who are in this, like since we know that a lot of women right things are going on, we're trying to put feminism in mind of so many women out there, but still in some societies, just because the men do not know the idea of feminism, the women are not feeling the way they should be. Like rather than teaching women the power of feminism, why not teach men how to do that?
You rightly said. See, I feel we should have an androgynous families, androgynous human beings. When I'm talking about that, like, why not men can cook when they have to eat to survive? They also need to eat. Why can woman not take care of her own stuff when she knows that she has to live in this world? Why there is something for men and something for women? But at the same period of time, there is a balance also. When you look in our ancient tradition and like kind of a thing, what you're going to see, Ria, is there is something that woman is made for,
Yeah, exactly.
and there is something that what
Men
men is
are
made
made
for. And now वो feminist के चक्कर में ना, we are losing that balance. So anything overdo does not work.
does not work.
So there is certain way those energies are balanced, and that's why men with women are together, so that their energies are balanced. Now that's most important thing that we don't look at.
I think it's a yin yang concept.
Yeah.
Where both of us need to understand that we have to coexist in a way that you also have an independent being, that you need to know some stuff. At the same time, the woman of the house also needs to know all the stuff. Nobody has to be compulsory to do that particular task. Like say cooking is for women, business is for men. No. That can be interchanged. At
Yeah.
the same time, both of them can together do the chores.
And they can balance it, and then we don't want. So I personally think that it's not that, oh, if because I'm a feminist ऐसा होना चाहिए, क्यों वुमेन ने ये नहीं कर सकती, क्यों ये नहीं हो सकता, हर जगह पे नारा लगाना ज़रूरी नहीं है. At the same period of time, understanding a little combination of the balance that we both are, and when you both perform in certain way, creating certain things, there is an absolute balance, and that balance is making this world so beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if there was no woman or no men, because the feminist idea is not having men, I think it's very wrong, because or things to do only by men, or like only women can do all the
Women
things.
can do everything.
Everything, yeah. I think no,
Yeah.
because there are some tasks which are meant to be done by men. Let them do it.
Yeah.
You need to have your own feminine touch, right? You cannot lose that.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the attraction, right?
Exactly. Then
That's
then if
attraction.
all girls start being tomboyish, I don't mind being tomboyish as well. But if they start being too much into the, like, losing their feminine touch,
Yeah.
then don't you think that the entire universe will lose the balance of woman
that's
being
what is
woman,
happening.
the
That's what is
beauty of
happening.
womanhood?
Yeah, that's what is happening. Why do we have to make men culprit for everything?
Yeah.
Just because we give, feminism the whole thing. No.
Exactly.
I mean, I think there's a beautiful balance that we can do.
With you saying this, have you ever thought that there has been a lot of misuse also of feminine rights that are given to us?
Yeah, there are. I was recently talking about this rape cases which had happened in the West Bengal recently. And, I was with a group of people, and then we were talking about it. Definitely, whatever happened is cruel, brutal, and absolutely unacceptable. And then when I was talking, why then there are no laws? And then when I got to know about it, there are laws. Even if you're staring somebody for more than 10 seconds, you can be put behind the bars.
Exactly.
So there are laws, but if you see so many cases where women has misused those laws, and they have made male the culprit.
Yeah, and I think that is the main reason why the courts cannot take the justice decision faster, because they do not know if this is a right or a true thing that they are putting, an allegation that they are putting,
Yeah.
or is it a false allegation. So, since India being a democratic country, they need to give right justice out there, and maybe this is the main reason Supreme Court or any court takes a lot of time to give justice to these rape cases.
Yeah, and it is so unfortunate because people who are victims, they're really suffering. They have to go through so much of it because of some people who are misusing the law. I mean, I wish that everybody takes their responsibility to just make sure that we respect this, so that there is a justice in a faster way, and girls don't have to suffer this. It's not fair.
Because it's brutal what we saw, the flashes that we have seen all over the news, and some people still have the audacity to say that it is not true or these are the fake images. And being in a world of AI, you do not know the difference between fake or true.
Yeah.
But at least we have eyes to see what is going on out there.
I thoroughly believe that. I think
Exactly. So, with that being said, I also wanted to ask, what is your take on the relationship statuses? So, these days, as you know, that there are so many relationship ideas, that is situationships, this ship, that ship. So, what do you think? Will the idea of an ideal marriage just fade away in the future? Or how are the men and women going to live together ever?
so. I think, Riya, it's all convenience based. What people have creating these new terms of situationships and friend zone and different things that what people are. I mean, those terms didn't exist before. They are getting created because that kind of relationships are coming up in picture, and when it's coming up and then you don't want to name it as an affair or a love, then you need to name it something, and then something comes up. So I think it's a creation and need of an hour, where people are, the way society is transforming, the way things are going on, people require certain tags that I'm in this, I'm in that.
Yeah.
And that's how I think this comes. And rightly asked, when you said that the concept of marriage, will it fade away? I think yes, if this balance is again not understood by people, it's
It's
going to
very,
fade
very,
away.
it's on a very thin line at this moment, if you see. Like the like your Gen Z, the millennials and the Gen Z only, you can see so many difference in the whole, like on the foundation of marriage is only very different for both of them.
Yeah.
And now for us Gen Zs, they just want the freedom and they do not want to take responsibility for it. But don't you think it's creating a lot of loneliness too?
It is. And I tell you, everything comes within responsibility. Everything in life, whether you wanted to study, whether you wanted to have a relationship, whether you wanted to be with your parents, everything comes within responsibility.
So why run away from it?
I run away from it, because, and responsibility is not bad. It's not, when we say responsibility, it's more about, oh my god, I have to do this. I mean, that's the reaction people. Oh my god, I have to do this. Oh my god, if I get married, I have to do this. Oh my god. No, it's a beautiful balance what two people require to be with each other, to be in love with each other, to do whatever is required to be done. And it's more not like give and take relationship, it's more kind of a building on relationship.
Exactly. So I don't know how you would be doing this, but when it comes to life coaching, so many breakups come in.
Yeah.
I think they may be coming to you.
Yeah.
And at the same time, all these loneliness factors. So how do you advise them to come out of that loneliness, at the same time have all the strength to trust somebody else and still go on and find somebody out there?
So even with this, Riya, self-love comes at the topmost priority. We don't teach kids to do that. We always ask them to give out, to give in. We don't teach them that you do that, but at the same time you need to see that you are the priority.
I think the concept where these people say, like the kids say, that I want to do this, and we teach them moral values, only kindness, doing good to them, giving out them. We never teach them what it is like also giving to yourself.
Yeah.
Because then the other person becomes such a big giver that in that relationship also there's this toxicity of that only person giving it, and
Yeah.
that then the partner gets irritated by that person who is giving it too much into, and that chaos happens.
Exactly. And it's hard learned, but I really feel that self love has to be your priority. It doesn't make you selfish, it doesn't make you bad person. It just makes you need to know that if you are valued, somebody is going to value you. Otherwise you're going to keep finding those validation in somebody's eyes, and you're not going to look at who you are and who you can be, because you really can be who you want to be.
Exactly.
You really can be who you want to be. It's just that we don't focus on that. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, जिधर जिधर focus होता है उधर energy flow होता है.
हाँ.
So if my focus is on this business, in this relationship, that's going to grow. If I'm going to have my focus on, oh, I'm not good, I just need to make sure that he's happy, he's doing this, he's this, that's going
Maybe
to happen.
I am an issue, maybe I am this problem, or all those kind
Yeah,
of questions
yeah.
that come into the picture.
And when you talk about loneliness, it's a big problem. Rather, let's not look at the problem, but I think it's a big situation right now. I don't know if you know, there is this more than 25 to 30% of the growth in mental health industry these days. You look at the loneliness because everybody wants to do everything.
This is because of digital, like
Yeah, there's like a direct comparison. There is like everything which is happening, and that makes a big deal about it. And people are going to get lonely using gadgets. Most of the time, you look at it, how much time we are having a screen time these days, having all the social media platforms and everything. You're just going to be okay, swipe, swipe, swipe. Even somebody, I mean,
Yeah.
people don't recognize who's there, uske baaju mein kaun hai, what is, can I just
I
spend
think
some
we
good
were
time
more
with each other?
peaceful when the phone numbers were in diaries.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
At least the brain used to work to remember those phone numbers.
And those who were needed.
Yeah. And it clearly showed a lot of boundaries. So with that also, like when we say social life being so much active out there, you see there are so many friends, followers on social media, but at the end of the day that person is sitting alone in the room,
Yeah.
being so lonely,
Yeah.
that person has no idea what is going. When you say that this person has to go out, socialize, that person won't be able to do
Yeah,
that.
they can't, no, because you see, everything happens through, the skill set is developed when you are in action about it. Just thinking about it never makes
Never
sense.
makes sense.
Like, even if I have to learn a karate or a taekwondo or anything, I need to keep practicing my moves, and that there is a time when those moves run you don't have to
Yeah.
do that moves. And so is with this. You being out with people, you're talking to them, you're understanding them, there is give and take of energy. There's so much which is happening, Ria, and at that period of time, I think that's the right time when you are practicing being social. This all thing.
Because they have just created that communication now is phone calls, writing good texts,
Yeah.
and all this thing. Whereas the traditional belief for all this thing is that you meet, you share energies. In fact, the recollection time is also like you recollect a person more if that person is in front of you talking to you, rather than recollecting a message that person had sent before.
Absolutely. And we forget to show that gratitude, that love, that vibe. When we're talking about the vibe, the energy is real, Ria. Now, where is that energy? Where is that energy? You just copying text nowadays, getting into chat GPT, even for wishing a birthday. Okay, how do I wish my friend a birthday wish? Give me a good quote. And that's how we do.
There's no effort. There's no effort taken.
There is an effort to type that.
Just to type that.
But there's no effort to actually understand that person. Okay, what is so that I want to acknowledge that person about on his birthday. How can I really make him feel special? What is it I really think about that person?
The touch of personal.
Exactly. And that humanized touch is getting missed. And that's the reason why loneliness is coming up in so much.
But how do you think the generation that is coming up is going to deal with it? Because due to this only people are getting depressed, anxiety, all these factors were never existing before. You said the growth of mental health is just crazy right now. Why? Because of all these things. So how do you think there's any solution to this in future?
So again, I look when you're saying this that this is getting missed is it's just practicing it, just being with your families. You know, where if you look at 20 years, 30 years back, there were so many joint families. Traditionally, we used to live with our uncles and aunties, and they were on Sundays they will visit us, and then we will visit them, and that's what was happening. Now that's stopped. Now that was a time. It was not that depression was not there, but there was a time when you did not go to a therapist or you would not go to a counselor because somebody in your house, they know you, they understand you because you've been exchanging so much of energy with each other.
And you can trust your family members more.
Exactly.
I don't know why today kids want to trust therapists. I'm not harming your entire
I get
thing
it.
though.
I get it.
But still, I don't understand why people just directly trust somebody with their entire life, but they cannot trust their own family members and they cannot approach them. Why so?
Judgment, because there is a fear of judgment, Riya, that what if they know this about me, what if this is not if they find out this, what if this they say to other person, or what if they will not accept me. So there is a fear of acceptance, fear of judgment where people are, and I think that's bringing up a big thing where they are.
Okay. No, I agree to that whole entire concept. And I think that joint families needs to be there, or at least you meeting your parents, you meeting your grandparents, because that gives you a lot of emotional connect also.
Yeah.
So when that loneliness comes into picture, if you get an emotional touch, emotional connect, that entire goes
Yeah,
down.
yeah. And more than Asian countries, you will see American countries has gone highest in the rate of
Crazy.
depression. Only reason is again said they have lost that touch quite a while back. Now
I
as
think
they're
with
18,
the
they
practical mindset being grown way too
yeah,
much,
yeah.
which is not required.
Everybody needs their own time, their own freedom, their own
People becoming robots and robots having a lot of emotions than us.
yeah. And now our countries are following that, Riya, because we are getting influenced by that Western culture. Nothing wrong about it. Take something good from them. Perfect.
Perfect.
But this is our treasure. Families are our treasures. And why let it go? That's my stand always.
So Neha, before we move on to know more about you as an influencer, I would just like to ask you this one small question: that do you have any experiences of your being a life coach? Any particular participant of yours, if you want to share that?
Well, it'll be difficult to pick up one fish out of the water, but I have this one of the where I thought that anything can be possible in this world with the right mindset. Is I remember a lady coming up from Dubai, and she had cancer, and she was dealing big time with her health, definitely as having a cancer, and then relationships with her husband, with her kids, with her own self. She could barely she was her husband wanted to travel the whole world because that was his work profile, and this lady was stuck up with, I can't do this, I can't do that, and there's nobody to look at it, there is nobody to figure out and stuff like that, and then when I had my first session with her and I saw that, oh my god, like she is a sea of possibilities and she cannot see anything about it, and she's stuck up in that storm and she feels that this is it, I can't do anything about it. And that was the reason when that was a time when I really we had this session and then we worked out whatever was required to be done. And today she's cancer free.
Oh wow.
She was getting into a verge of divorce with her husband. They travel the world together. there is not there must be barely couple of months when they are in their own country, and regardless of anything, the confidence, the way she's built up, and at the age of 65, she was 65
Yeah.
when she met me.
Oh my God.
She's been doing this,
And now she is traveling all the world and everything.
yeah, she keeps me sending pictures from all around the world, looking into, Neha, you should come and see this. Neha, you should look at this, and it feels so good that this can be possible. Like the families are one, parents have become one. There is huge possibility. Cancer is gone,
Exactly.
and yeah, I think that's my favorite one.
How do you feel about all these lives that you've touched and the connections that you've made all this time? So, do you think that this is how you want the world to remember you, or there's more to it?
I want to spread smiles around the world. Um, that's what makes me happiest, Priya.
That's what makes you a sunshine for everyone.
Yeah, and that's the only intention where I am, like, whichever way we can spread smiles, and that's how getting into multiple things.
Okay, so how are you right now doing it apart from life coaching? Do you have anything that you do specifically with that entire mindset of yours, or building some foundation regarding this smiles thing that you want to spread smile?
Yeah, so we keep doing some small projects where we approach different slums, different people. Why only slums? Some old age homes, or why only old age homes? Even single clubs. And we keep looking into, how can they feel special? Ria, there are 3 A's which I think everybody, like every human being, requires to listen to this and keep providing in their surroundings. One is acknowledgement. When I talk, from 5-year-old to 99-year-old person needs to be acknowledged. They want to be acknowledged for who they are, who they really are.
True.
They need to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Everybody likes appreciation. Not like I'm telling you to fake anything, but you can absolutely look at
The good thing.
good things about other,
About
genuine good things about it. You just share that. You appreciate the other person
Yeah.
for who they are, whatever is required to be done. And the third one is acceptance, as I said.
Okay.
Acceptance is so important. Like, people want them to be accepted who they are. It's okay, thoda kam, thoda zyada, thoda pagal, thoda acha.
Yeah, that's when
Why
what we say,
not?
filterless.
Yeah, like
So you have to be filterless.
filterless. Exactly. I think bang on. So I think if this 3 A's people start providing in their life, with their parents, with their grandparents, with their partners, with their friends, with their teachers,
Even
with their-
teachers, because I think teachers also play a big role,
Big role.
with the criticism they give, and the criticism, the way they give it out.
yeah,
That
yeah,
things
yeah.
plays a, because teacher feels that the role is only till the school or the college or that foundation,
Yeah.
but they do not know what big impact they are creating in the mind of a person.
Huge impact. And I think if everybody really follows this up and bring this 3 A's in their life, it's going to be A+ life.
True that. You just summarized all the happiness, the sadness of a life in just those 3 A's
Yeah.
so beautifully that I feel that everybody should implement it.
Yeah.
out. So Neha, moving on, we all know that you are being called the brown girl in the world, right?
Yeah.
Why the brown girl in the world, and why nothing else apart from brown girl in the world?
So I really think that I have this little girl in me, and I'm brown, and it is okay to be brown.
Yeah.
And I think there's this little girl in me who wants to explore everything in this world.
Okay.
So I want to explore food, different cuisines. I want to travel different part of the world, live life locally. I want to meet different people, such amazing human beings there are in this world, and I feel that I want to meet them, and I want to eat their local cuisine. I want to have that local shopping market experience for people. And in each country, there are different forms of markets,
I
and
get
the way you look at it. And I want to have all of this together,
Huh.
to explore that every girl or a boy will have that little child
Child.
in themselves, which needs to explore it.
Is it the main reason? So we got to know that you did 20 plus certifications in major different fields, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that that is the girl doing it rather than Neha Sanghvi, the woman right now,
Absolutely.
doing it?
It's all my curiosity. It's all the curiosity where I am, and not 20, 40 different certified courses.
Oh wow,
Let me get-
damn!
Yeah.
40 courses.
Yeah. So no, that doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything. It's just that I think there is so much to explore. So when I did my a therapy session with acupressure and acupuncture, for example, as a therapist, I saw there was a different
Way of-
science of how the body can be healed. Coming to counseling, it was different. From fashion, it was different. So I think there's so much to explore, and that this child inside me wants to explore everything. And I'm sure each one of us, this child, yeah, each one of us, this child, but we get into right, wrong, ये करना चाहिए, career
हाँ.
कैसे होगा, ये कैसे करेंगे.
The societal judgment,
Yeah,
the societal
yeah.
duties that we have to do as a
Do-
person
yeah.
in the society.
Time कहाँ है? I think everybody just invest time in learning. Everybody should keep learning.
I think time kaha is just another excuse of running away from what you want to do. And like if you have seen the movie Tamasha, अंदर क्या है किसे पता है, that
Yeah.
entire thing
Yeah.
just hits you out there.
Yeah.
And another part of it is that तुम्हारी कहानी है, बदल लो.
Exactly.
And that thing has just stuck in my mind also, just like you have said this thing that you want that curious kid to just go around this and that. But I feel when we say that तुम्हारी कहानी है, खुद बदल लो, says it all. You have the right to do whatever you want to do
Yeah.
without keeping the judgments of the society
Yeah.
in your head
Yeah.
and roam around free.
Yeah.
Because you come, like we say, you come alone, you go alone.
Yeah.
There is no relationship that is going to be a tag joined when you are not there on the world.
Yeah. I agree.
So why not be what you want to?
Exactly, Riya. And I think that's so beautiful. And I want, through my page, I really want people to explore, like everybody cannot do all of this. So I want them through travel, through explore, eat, see with whatever is required
Huh.
to be done, to explore this beautiful world, beautiful people, beautiful life, beautiful places, everything else. Journeys of people.
Exactly. Since you have explored so many different things out there, like you've traveled to so many countries, met so many people, what is that one incident that has just stuck in your entire head for so long and you will remember that place, that people for the whole time? Which is that place and the
Oh my
the
god!
people.
So like so many of them. Again, you're asking me to pick up a fish from the sea. So my recent experience when I went to Vietnam, and then it was my solo travel,
Okay.
and I went to Hoi, and I see this different woman in this traditional Vietnamese clothes because
Huh.
they had their New Year at that period of time. Looking at that time, I thought that, oh my god, I wish I can buy one because I'm going to be here for New Year.
Yeah.
Why I can't be one of them?
One of
and since
them.
I was solo, I didn't have like families around
Huh.
to do stuff. I said, okay, let me just go. When I went to get the dress, there's this lady and the girl,
Huh.
and then she tells me that you want to buy it or you want to rent it. I was okay to buy,
Huh.
and she said you want to, and I said, oh, can I rent it?
Huh.
And she said, yeah, because I wanted to wear it only for
Wear it
one
only
day.
for one day.
And she explored and she told me. Now, and then I said that, it was, I said that I can not have my own photo shoot. So maybe tomorrow morning I'll do. And I had my flight at like 7:30 in the morning.
Oh God.
And she said, okay, I will come to have a photo shoot for you. And I thought, and I said, oh, you can come like that.
Huh.
She said, yeah, I can come. And right bang 6 o'clock, she was there in my
Damn.
hotel. She took me on the bike and then she took some pictures in the hotel and she's like, no. And, oh, by the way, all of this conversation is through a translator because I could not understand Vietnamese and she could not understand English.
Yeah, correct.
And we are conversing like this, and then she is telling me that not this, we'll go to the
Huh.
palace. She takes me to the right, wrong, everywhere. She breaks all the signal so that I can be back on my flight time to be there. And she did this photo shoot. And when I'm offering money, and she's like, no, I just wanted to help you because you were yourself.
Curious, and you were yourself.
You were alone. And at that period of time, I think that, oh my God, world is so much. We keep judging people. अरे पैसे के लिए कर रही है. And in my mind, I thought that, okay, I'll pay her a little extra.
Extra.
But that's
No,
but
no.
that's the generosity she showed, and I am touched, and I will always remember that girl. If she's listening to me, that thank you for bringing that amazing smile on my face.
Yeah, because I feel that when you go around solo, you get to explore these small tinges
Yeah.
that you cannot see when you are in a group trip or some trip that is planned, pre-planned.
Yeah.
This always happens on a solo trip. So would you like to inspire women to like go out, or not just women but men also, to have these crazy experiences alone? And why alone? Why not together? You can experience all of that.
Well, I am not too much into alone or not alone. I feel just go explore. just do whatever it requires to be done. But when I travel solo, I realize that I really don't need to take care of anyone. I don't need to take care of their needs. I don't need to go to certain places where other people want to go. I don't need to eat food what I have to look at otherwise everybody. And I can keep my room at the mess. I don't need to keep everything tidy. So I think that
So you
was
clearly
that
you're a
freedom.
messy person that you are.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
no judgment.
Yeah.
Clean.
Filterless.
Filterless, yeah, always.
So I think that's so. Yeah, as I said,
The solo
thing is
important.
yeah.
No, like we've also had a word about responsibility. So solo thing kills the responsibility factor, and you can much more enjoy rather than thinking about मैं घर कितने बजे पहुंचूंगी, am I
Yeah.
safe, am I not safe? Did you not feel unsafe at any point in Vietnam since you are alone? And did you do that very first time, the solo
Yeah,
trip?
that was my first time.
That was your first
That
time
was my
solo
first
tripping.
time for solo trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you not feel at any point a little bit unsafe because you are in a whole different place, not in your own nation, not even knowing the local language? So,
Absolutely. And no bookings done. I just went. Yeah, no, there was nothing like unsafe. Yes, there were concerns when I would be cautious about things. But you know what? I think world is beautiful place, yeah, and your mindset plays it all. The every minute I saw that people are beautiful, world is beautiful. I don't see I had one experience which was crazy. And if it would be, I would have learned something about it.
Yeah.
So I think even with people, could I not have any wrong experience? I could have. So why we have to judge solo
Yeah.
as something?
Why do you want to pre-think about all of that?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
this is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
happen, that is going to happen. And because of that only people get so much scared pehle se, that they don't even try to explore or try to take that approach. The first
Yeah.
step is very important, is what I
Very
feel.
important. And I think you are the best, beautiful, your own company. If you start enjoying by yourself, for yourself, I'm sure people is going to enjoy with you.
So do you, when you travel all these places, since you also are a fashion entrepreneur, do you like purchase things? Do you like capture design inspirations and all of that? Can you like just elaborate on that thing if you do?
Yeah, we do that. So we run this brand called Around the World. That's another brand we run with the multi-designer store where we handpick collection from different part of the world.
Oh.
And that's such a beautiful experience because you get to shop, you get to know their different cultures, the way they want to look, the way they want to be appreciated,
Yeah.
the way their craftsmanship, their traditions comes in between. So we handpick different collection. Because I feel that not everybody can travel. Like if I have to travel to London, Australia, Bangkok, Turkey, everywhere we source our clothes
Huh.
from, I'm sure everybody cannot do that.
Yeah,
So
but at least they can
get-
wear.
yeah, why not to get them together, and that's what we do.
Okay, got it. But since you said you do life coaching, you do entrepreneurship as a fashion entrepreneur, you have your own boutique, and at the same time you travel so much, how do you manage all of this? I'm very curious about this.
So honestly, no key to it. All what I do is I listen to my heart. I keep doing what is required to be done. And I believe, Ria, one thing is I live in today and now. So मुझे पता है कि if tomorrow I'm not there, I don't want to regret anything.
Yeah.
So I don't want to plan for next 40 years and then think that after 40 साल के बाद मैं
ये
ये
करूँगी.
करूँगी. Yeah, after
You do not know if you're going to live till
yeah,
40.
exactly. I keep telling people, कल earthquake आ गया, अंदर सब खत्म. Why not? Like, so I don't want to regret over anything. I feel like whatever I feel want to do it, I want to get it done right away. And that's the reason when I want to live fully. And then automatically everything gets in the plate.
So Neha, since we are all talking about your boutique, your fashion thing, at the same time we also know that you have an around the world thing at your boutique only. Can you just tell me what exactly Daily is completely about?
So, Ria, we are a multi-designer store, and we give chance to lot of budding designers to display their work at our store. So, what happens is they get a platform to showcase their collection, and clients get to see different designers' work at one store.
Okay.
That's the concept that we started about.
But are these very like a good kind of designers, or they are like well-known labels out there, or these are somebody who are just starting their journey as a fashion designer?
So it's a mixture of both, but we would want to give chance to a budding designers at the first go, because I think that's the time when they have the kickstart. Not that everybody has monetary benefit,
Yeah.
kind of a thing, or support to make a collection and then to put it here. Even if they're making 5 to 6 designs, we encourage them to put it in the store,
Okay.
and trust me, they are fabulous. And it started. Now this was not how I conceptualized this store as. So when we started with the store 14 years back, we started by putting up our designs. And when we had like a opening, and I was going to call all my fellow mates,
Yeah.
the fashion designers, to come for the opening, and I asked them what are they doing, and trust me, they were better designers than me. And they said that no, they've switched off their job to something else. And I was like, really? Like, after having so much of hard work, building up your career, and then why you were into this? And they said that because there's no enough money into this, there's a lot of investment that we need to put. We don't have skills of marketing, we don't have a place to display, and let it be. It's better that we take a job of a receptionist or something else. And I was
Why that?
heartbroken. I was like, really? And that was a time when I told them, make 5 garments, you can do that. And they are like, yes. I said, make 5 garments, I'm going to put it. And of course, we'll have profit sharing in the whole
Obviously. Yeah.
period of it. And that's how we started with business. When I'm talking 15 years back, there were a couple of multi-designer stores, but they would always give chances to branded, established designers. There was nothing for budding designers. And I think we were the first ones to do something like that.
Okay.
And again, I think that money will come. More important is what kind of difference that you make. So our whole tagline is style to make a difference.
Okay.
And we keep do that with these designers. We do with students. We keep running internship program. We have trained more than 250 interns till now.
Wow. How long has this studio been there?
15 years now. We're completing 15 years.
Okay, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know the exact revenue model, that how are you guys generating profits out of it? I understand the entire background out, like what are you doing for the society and how are you giving back to them? But what is the revenue model on a business perspective, if I ask you?
So to be honest, see, whenever a designer has to create a design, they're going to put an investment into making that material, in making that design done. And it cannot be one or two. You have to make a range of designs. And then you need to have a place to market it, which is equal cost of or more than it than your actual cost or manufacturing of that garment. Now what happens is, and after all of that, you should have skills to run the business. You should give time to clients. You should do you should be fair about making it available for people. So we thought that how about having a partnership with this.
Okay.
So when you don't have to invest into marketing, you don't have to invest into attending clients, you don't have to investment into the
Having a studio to rent,
to
or
rent
to
or
show.
to run an exhibition, pay amount. All that what you have to do is just make your design, which you are good at, which you are trained to be do that. And then we share profit with it. Whatever has to be the
Exactly.
profit, we create a revenue of the work we are doing, and then they are doing. And there is no hike of the prices, because otherwise also if she is going to put up anywhere or market it, she will have to invest more
That
into it.
amount or something more.
More than that. Yeah, exactly. So here it's a win-win situation for both of us. They save on their time. They bang on with creativity. And best part, Ria, is now there are many multi-designer stores which have opened. So they can roll up their collection.
Yeah.
So if agar ye studio mein nahi chala, we can roll
Kisi
up
aur,
to different.
हाँ.
and then
But at
third,
least
the
their money
same
is
inventory.
getting saved.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's a dead stock for them.
Exactly.
And that's how we create revenue, by the skills that what we are doing, and they
Okay.
create revenue by what
Their
they are
making
doing.
of the
Yeah,
garment.
that's how
And
it is.
apart from this particular thing, do you have your own label, or do you have something that is just their lead is creating? Do you guys do customization?
Yeah, we do customize as well. We customize because over the period of time, Ria, I see that given the opportunity, given the market which is increasing, the social media which is increasing, everybody has their design on their hand. Everybody comes up with their own design. They have their own fabrics. They have their mother's or grandmother's sari which they want to remake it. So yes, we give them an opportunity to customize it to their own way, and we have like the best of the tailors and the team, so that we procure that for the same.
But do you believe that when you say that you have tailors, you have craftsmen, do you think that when this goes on a higher level, that brands like H&M, Zara, or any other brand, you name any brand, they also have these designers, craftsmen. Do you think they actually get enough credit out of it? Because at the end of the day, their creativity is given to these brands, and we do not know who actually made them. And this is not just for the brands, but if you see sari
Designer
for,
labels as well.
yeah, for designer labels as well. And when you see, there are saris of chicken curry, then there are saris which are made handmade,
Yeah.
hand printed,
Like bandhni.
so bandhni or any paithani,
Batik, yeah.
so all these
Different
require
names.
so much of efforts.
Yeah, I agree.
And all these brands or labels do is that they buy it from a craftsman who is doing it,
Yeah.
and then they just redesign something
Yeah.
of that particular fabric, or just make something out of it which is
Yeah.
going in the trend.
Yeah.
So don't you think that the craftsmen are not getting enough amount of
Yeah.
thing?
Sadly said, but yes, there is a lot of exploitation in the industry area, and it's just the top one gets the whole credit and credibility of it. These days, yes, lot of designers have started putting craftsmen on the board. They've started putting them on the top, recognizing their. But sadly said, it is a very very less percentage.
Yeah, but because we never get to know about
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
So do you think that they should bring some revolution out there, that they can at least add it as made by, or under a certain name, like in the label add it that the fabric is made by this person, or something like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
needs to be added?
Yes.
And do you think that the brands are ready to do that, or
No.
what is the reason why they are not ready to do that?
It's all business, Ria. If somebody is going to reveal their sources, what kind of pricing they are getting into, how are they going to make business for
Exactly.
it? And that's the reason where
It's very
where I
harsh.
said that, sadly said, but this is what is it.
Apart from this, the entire fashion industry looks so glamorous outside, but what is it that is inside and it's too dark? Is it dark inside?
I won't say it's dark. They're humans like you and me, but they have insecurities, comparisons, fakeness, just to a higher level, because as you got to be into a glamour industry, you need to it's all about show and shine. So you need to keep
The shosha is way too much.
way
out
too
there.
much, way too much, and it is, I'm telling you, it's absolutely yes, there is a lot of fakeness to it. At the same time, there is a lot of genuinity to it. People who are really creative, who are really making amazing designs, and they don't get like a fair chance to put that up. It is like jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai.
Absolutely. And when we say about all these, since we are talking about all these big labels and brands, do you think that the amount they are charging for their outfits are very much, or is it the exclusivity that they are giving is the reason that it is all worth it?
It's both, Ria. There are people like I'll mention this designer called Vaishali S. You should see her craftsmanship. It's so beautifully done. If you look at Gaurang, the weaves that he produces, so beautiful one, and those are genuine credits that I would like to give to those designers. But when you look at, there are certain times it's just the branding, marketing which gives. people
Yeah,
money.
I feel so. When we say about in industry, when you say when it comes to Indian wear,
Yeah.
so we all know Sabyasachi, we know Manish Malhotra being used, and Ritu Kumar is a name that is coming now up, which should have come earlier as well. Because if you see Ritu Kumar's work, it's just so beautiful, which has never come up, and now in last 4-5 years, it is just showing up way too faster. Do you agree to this thing?
Again, it's a marketing. It's not that Ritu Kumar was not famous. She was always the one top in the industry.
Yeah.
But now she's got into multiple marketing model where her shops now you see all around
Yeah.
malls and everything. Again, I say jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. And I
That
think
is why
she's
it's
doing,
been-
yeah. And now when you reach to certain level and you turn around with some good brands and branding, that is the time when you get good exposure.
Where do you see all these brands in fashion industry in the next 5 years? Because you know very well that our generation, say Gen Zs or the Gen Alphas coming up, they think of fashion in a whole different way. So initially it was fashion as shosha, and for us now fashion is comfort.
Yeah.
So is it a good change or is it a bad change? And if this change happens, what is the look of the fashion industry in the next 5 years?
Honestly, lot of things are changing, Riya. And yes, as you rightly said, there is the way internet, the social media has been around. It's going to be a very, very different market. But we need to move with times, right? Like we start, all of us start learning chat gpt, we start using different AI tools. The same way we need to have our markets through these platforms, and that's, and the one who, I think one thing which is constant in life is change,
Yeah.
and whoever accepts this change and move around with it, they win in their life. And who
Definitely.
does not, they don't.
So, are these online marketplaces going to take away the traditional boutiques or the, like, you go to a tailor, you ask them to like customly make that? So that is just going away. People
I
are just
agree.
getting out of it, and
I
they're like,
agree.
even if the outfit is same for everybody, they'll still buy it from online marketplace. So what is the mindset? And still, some of the places in India do not trust the marketplace, because our Indian mindset is like, if we want to touch, we want to feel the product, and then only we buy it.
Yeah.
So is that the competition between the online and the offline going to stay for long, or they'll just bring some revolution on online marketplace that is going to change?
So the offline is going to be more cost impacting, Ria. That's what I see future as. Online is going to be easy and less way where people are going to because the investment of physical space and all of them, it is going low. So that's definitely not going to work. But when we look at um, I don't know if you know, if even if you go to London or you go to this Western countries, and anything that you want to customize is at 4 to 5 times the rate than you buy it from
Yeah.
a mall or a store. Only reason is, again, like for one outfit, somebody has to go through the whole pain to do all of it, but it gives you that right customized fit. But while buying from a mall, it's going to be ek ka 100 piece, and they put
Huh.
it in the different places. So it's always going to be
Manufacturing price for them is very less.
very less. So that's going to work out. And physical space is not there. Staff is not required. It's the right kind of salesman. All that what you need is marketing, and then the go down, and then the right kind of
So this
showcase.
clearly shows that the labels are going to increase their prices. At the same time,
Yeah,
these
yeah,
are
yeah.
going to be more. So a common man can buy clothes from these malls,
It's
marketplaces,
going to be
online,
more
and all.
easy, and then customizing something
Will
in
be
next
very
10
tough.
years is going to be very expensive.
Yeah.
And if you see the labor cost in last 5 years, the labor cost has increased like anything,
Because
because
there are many less labors left.
exactly.
Everybody, if this is the concept that I always think about, if everybody is educated so well, who is going to do the labor work?
Yeah.
Then what is the difference between us and the Western countries, where the labor is completely gone and only the robots or the machines
Yeah.
are majorly
Yeah.
doing the work?
Yeah.
So they do not have the advantage of the way we have of customizing handmade things
Yeah.
and all.
And that's why we need to preserve this. I think we need to give more work to the artisans, acknowledge their effort. Again, coming back to 3 A's, they want acknowledgement, acceptance.
Yeah.
You know,
Appreciation.
appreciation. Why not to give them when they are working, when you're wearing that fabric? Why not? Why not to give them?
Because if you start giving them more appreciation, there'll be more people who would want to do that.
Yeah.
And the entire market that is getting degraded will just come up again.
Yeah.
And we have to preserve that.
Yeah.
And only somebody who is from the industry, who knows all about it, will be able to do that, because there are so many parts that they're just avoiding in the mindset of making business.
Yeah.
But if this gets avoided for too longer, we are just losing our culture.
Yeah, I agree to you.
And one more small thing is that I wanted to ask, that we all know that today people are moving into vegan clothing, where
Yeah.
you are not using animal skin or fur or leather for that matter. So, what is your take on that entire concept of vegan clothing? And do you think that in some places these leathers, these silken things has to be taken into picture, like they are required?
No, not required at all. Why? I mean, I'm not into veganism or something, but I believe in non cruelty for sure. And it's not required. You now there are so many artificial sources for everything. Why harm an animal, or why harm something to just cause and wear it for a while and just throw it off?
Throw it off.
Why?
And also, again, this wear it off and throw it away, this brings me to the thought of sustainability in the fashion. There is very less with the new designs, new trends coming every day. The inventory is just left behind. So how do you deal with all of that, and how do, apart from you, how the fashion industry is dealing with this whole thing?
So I don't know if you know, the highest environmental wastage comes from clothing. Highest. So to make from taking a cotton bud to making a yarn, to a thread, to a fabric, to a supplier, to a manufacturer, to a supplier, to selling, to a designer, then to the client, there is like a huge process which goes in. And after that, we wear this t-shirt and we're like, oh, I don't think it's looking good, and then rest it in the cupboard. And I think people really need to be conscious, and that's why thrifting concept is also going well.
Yeah.
There are people like Gen Zs are now trusting into a
Thrift
stores, and I think there should be more thrifts, so that people can exchange and not harm nature. Look at
Yeah.
it into, and whatever best you can do. But the
Or you
highest-
can even try styling in a better way, that you're using the
Yeah.
same fits, but you're styling in a way
different
that it
yeah.
just
Why
looks
not
better.
to give knowledge
So
to people about it?
rather than thrift is the first thing, obviously, but apart from buying new things, why not use your own thing and style? So don't you think that these boutiques, these labels, these fashion people who can provide all the information of styling needs to do their work of providing the styling education to the world as well, not just to the industry people but to the world?
I think having more workshops with it, educating people, making different reels through social media,
Yeah.
and I think that's all already in the picture.
Yeah.
And then it comes to the mindset where
Mindset of
people
a
are.
person also, because still a lot of people have party hai, you need a new outfit, birthday hai, you need a new outfit, and I don't think that is going to change, because again, like we go back, since childhood it's been into us that you have to wear good clothes, new clothes whenever something good is happening, fresh things and all. So that, because of that only, I feel this entire thing is coming an issue. I feel amazing. So you know what, Neha, I got so many insights from you about so many different fields and going through your entire life lessons. There's this one thing I want to ask, that when you do all these life coaching sessions with people, how do you divert yourself, as like after coming from that session, then you try doing your job as a fashion entrepreneur, then switching the role as a home, like going back
Yeah.
to home and being a wife, being a daughter, being somebody's mother? How do you switch that, and what happens in your mind when you switch that things?
I think it's just the personality that you are. Yeah, there is no switching.
There's no switching.
It's just
too
extension.
easy.
It's just extension of what you are, and one extension. Sometimes your hand is needed, you use your hand. Sometimes your leg is needed, you use your
Oh
leg.
God, this is so nice.
And sometimes you want to talk, you talk, and you use your whole body. I mean, I don't need to switch. Okay, now I need to use hands, so leg rest, mind rest. It doesn't work like that. It's me. That's extension of me, and there is no switch.
Wow, I mean, you just the extension example. You've given some amazing examples throughout this whole session. Like, I'm gonna keep that as a note inside, And whenever, as and when I feel that I have to use it, or even for the viewers of this
Yeah.
podcast, they can definitely take this as an advice. And I'm so blessed to have you with me in my life, as well as giving people out there. So after people are going to see this, I feel they're going to be very inspired, very motivated, and the good vibes, the sunshine is always going to be spread out there.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Neha, for all of this. Any specific thing that you want to give out as a motivation, or give out to people who are coming up in the like as a new person in fashion industry, specifically fashion industry?
I think just believe in your work, keep experimenting. These days, people are more into how are we going to earn, how much are we going to earn. If you get an opportunity to be an intern or to get an experience to work with somebody, just do that. Because people, these days kids don't look at it like I see, Ria, that so many people, you pay so much of money to go to college.
Yeah.
Why?
To get something out of it,
To study, to educate yourself.
to educate yourself.
But in any field, I'm not talking just about fashion. In any field, what is important is the practical experience.
Definitely.
Why not spend your time into practical experience, getting internship, doing stuff, working, learning concepts from a fresh mind? I think just keep exploring.
And this thing does not just prevails up only till the fashion industry, but I
Everywhere.
think everywhere in life.
Everywhere.
If you have not known it by like going into that, like it's basically like stepping into somebody's shoes.
Yeah.
And once you step in that shoe, you will get to know how it is
Yeah.
and how they see the world, or how the
Yeah.
world is actually there.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be in your own room making, and that is, I think, what imposter syndrome, a lot of people in the designing world has this thing that मेरी डिजाइन्स कैसी लगेगी, मैं बताऊं या किसी को नहीं बताऊं.
Yeah.
They just keep on doing that
Just
and
explore.
keeping it out. Rather just say it out, show it to the world. If the world liked it, good. If they do not like it, try it again.
Yeah.
There's
And-
always a concept of trying again, right?
And then what I feel, I keep telling this to my designers. So many designers, we put their collection, and sometimes it's skeptical that will my designs go? Neha, can you tell me, is this good? Will we be able to sell this? Is it good enough?
Huh.
And I always ask them that do you like it? She says yes, that's how I made it. So I keep saying that there will be a mind. If there is a mind who created it, there will be a mind who will resonate with it, that this is what I want. And in my experience in so much of time into this fashion industry, like being into 15
Yeah.
years, there are so many times that I see that there is a garment which is lied down there for 6 months. Nobody
Which is
touches
so
it.
beautiful.
But there is like a whole new collection which is here. But somebody walks in and they point out with that garment, with that designer, and she resonates her personality with that. So, I don't want this. I want
I
this.
want that.
And that's sold.
So someday that is going to be sold, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like different humans have different ideas.
Yeah.
And if something matches, that's how fashion works, right?
Yeah, that's
If
how it
I not just in your like in ethnic wear or western wear or anything, but even for street wear, if there is a quote written on a t-shirt,
Yeah.
there would be some person who would like it, some who do not like. The ones who do not like it does not mean that it's never going to be sold out.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean it's not good enough. It just means that is somebody.
It's made for somebody else. Yeah.
That's it.
So it's basically destined for somebody else, and it will reach out to that person. So you just have to be that patient and wait for it.
And I think, Ria, everything is energy. Clothing is energy. The way you think is energy. The way you show yourself is energy. The way you talk is the energy. What you eat is energy. Everything is energy. So energy is exchange. Everything in the world, the energy revolves. It does not die like your scientific concept. It's not created.
It's never
and it will
created.
never
It will never die.
So it just keeps passing.
I think that is only for me. I have like never felt that I'm feeling into, or I'm very much directed to one particular god. I always believe that I believe in energy.
Yeah. And trust
And
me,
that
it doesn't
energy
matter.
cannot be because of a god, an idol of a god. It can also come from a person, a thing, a small thing, a non-living thing can also give me that energy, because of which I just want to like see that guy.
Yeah, and that's how the crystals work, right? They are those things which are energy, and when you wear them and when you hold them,
That is being transferred.
yeah.
I feel that this entire conversation, we started off from something, we
I know.
went into different things, you just lost it. but at the same time, we've connected so many loops out there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Neha, for giving such an insightful and completely filterless talk to us. Last thing, what is it that the viewers need to know about the filterless Neha?
The filterless Neha is fearful, she's scared, she's bold, she's mad, she has this inner child in her, she's curious, she's independent, she's dependent. And I think it's everything of it which makes her. And it is perfect the way it is,
It is.
and the way it is not.
Definitely. It's just so nice way to put this whole thing. And with this, we come to the end of this entire podcast. Thank you so much, Neha. I just want to ask, how was your experience with us?
Amazing. I think it was such a wonderful evening, Ria, because all आजकल सुनने वाले कम हैं. So all that, when you can be yourself, filterless, not be judged, and just be yourself, I think it's a celebration time.
Yeah,
To
it's
have that
definitely
kind
a
of time with
So with that,
yourself.
we do a high five as a celebration thing to
Yeah.
this thing. Okay, Neha, thank you so much for being there. And I'm definitely sure that your voice is going to reach out to the viewers and they're going to love it. And there are so many lessons that I am going to take from today's podcast and going to carry it forward for whatever time I'm there on earth. So thank you for making that difference.
Thank you.
With this, we come to an end of this amazing podcast, which was so much inspiring. I'm damn sure that you have got to think so much and at the same time learn a lot. So, this is it for us. Stay tuned for more such conversations. Let's be real, let's be filterless all the time. Subscribe to our channel for more such videos.